it's time for some common sense advice. Now, as we all know, it's Christmas in 4 days. What? What do you mean you haven't wrapped your presents yet? Alright, it's fine. Don't panic. Tea Time with Matt is here to help you through this. It's time for some common sense advice on how to wrap your Christmas presents. And in order to do that, we're going to need a common sense advice sound bed. I said we're going to need a common sense advice sound bed. There we go. It's all gone horribly wrong tonight. Step 1 of how to wrap your Christmas presents. Gather your materials. To wrap your Christmas presents, you will need wrapping paper, clear sellotape, or sticky back plastic for those of you who are more traditional, gift tags, gold or silver ink pen, and a large bottle of sherry. This will be important later. Step 2. Secure the room. The last thing you need is your Aunt Tina walking in on you while you're wrapping up that novelty jam collection you've bought for her. This step is also particularly important if you have pets, who seem to have an insatiable desire to help when it comes to wrapping presents. On no account should you accept any offer of help from your cat, as terrible things will befall your gifts should you allow them to be in the same room as your feline companion. Step 3. Measure your gifts carefully. You'll want to do this beforehand so that you know precisely how much wrapping paper you're going to need to wrap all of the gifts. If you start wrapping without doing this first, you'll end up with Dad's bottle of whiskey and Mum's Christmas jumper left over and a cardboard tube silently mocking you. Step 4. Begin cutting the wrapping paper to size. I find it's good to put the item or items to be wrapped on the paper and then cut around them to the required size. Just make sure you don't slip or get distracted while cutting, because what the hell have you done? You've just cut off a diagonal strip! That bit's useless now! It's fine, it's fine. You can use that bit for patching, cut it off and start again. Step 5. Tape it up. Fold the wrapping paper around your item or items and secure it using the sellotape. Now fold the ends into a triangle shape, and there's not enough to cover the end! Alright, don't panic. Use the bit you cut earlier, and you get that to... It's not bloody big enough! Now you're going to have to start cutting it all over again, you useless gibbon. Step 6. Cut the wrapping paper to size again. And don't screw it up this time! Incidentally, don't screw the wrapping paper up, because that makes your gift look really poorly presented and stuff. Step 7. Tape it up again. This time you should have measured it properly, so you should be able to wrap your item or items beautifully. Well done! You've finished the first present. Step 8. Repeat steps 4 to 7. By the time you've wrapped most of the gifts, you'll only have cut off cuts of wrapping paper. At this point, both presentation and your sanity should have gone out the window, so just cobble it together while swearing and making a mental note to buy 3 rolls of paper next year. Step 9. Give up and start whimpering. You've let your friends and family down, you've let Christmas down, and you've let yourself down. Open the sherry from step 1 and have a little cry while drinking it straight from the bottle. This could take anything from 10 minutes to a couple of days. Hang on a minute. That's better. Step 10. Go to the shops and bulk buy gift bags. Let's face it, gift bags are much simpler, and that's probably what you should have done to start with, because you're so uncoordinated and useless at gift wrapping. But don't worry, after all, it's the thought that counts. It's the fact you bought the gift and attempted to wrap it up that your friends and relatives will appreciate. Now put the gifts in the bag, pour yourself another glass of sherry. All done for another year. Apart from birthdays, of course. What do you mean all your relatives have birthdays in January? Oh, for goodness sake! And that was Tea Time with Matt's common sense advice on how to wrap your Christmas presents. Once again, we remind you that Tea Time with Matt's common sense advice should always be taken with a small barrel of salt. And if you actually try and follow these instructions to the letter, it will end in disaster. So I'm not responsible for you getting yourself tied up with wrapping paper and what have you. Deary me. Rory says wrapping presents is fun. It is fun, but I'm really uncoordinated, so I always run out of wrapping paper. So I bought 3 rolls this year.
Yeah, I can't do it very well either.
Nor can I. I bought 3 rolls of wrapping paper this year to make sure I'd have enough. Want to make a guess how many I used?
3.
1. I overcompensated.